Good morning, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, this is Chris Lawton, and the Magic Copper IQ is my group, and I'm an intuitive coach. And we have this fantastic program called the Magic Copper Ride, which is why I'm here in this group to share it with you. So today I'm actually setting a timer because I'm trying to keep myself, good morning, Kira. I'm trying to keep myself on task on my lives. So for those of you who are coming back to watch the replay, I'm going to start on time and get the work done that we're going to talk about each day. So the way that the schedule is going, and you'll see if you scroll down a little bit, there's a bunch of calendars, and it'll also be up in the featured of every other week. We'll be doing lives, and in the lives for the week, we're going to focus on one particular subject. So that subject could be something that we're working through with like conversation and meditation and imagery and stuff like that, or it may be breath work, meditation. If there's something that you're really dying to do, you feel free to put it in the comments, and I'll see if I can fit it into the schedules. We're about 6 weeks out as far as the schedule goes, with every other week. So today's topic, good morning, Carolyn. Excuse me. Today's topic, and it might be a little controversial, good morning, Chris, is what if we are in a simulation, and what if you're the main character? And that's all there is to it. I'm bringing up this conversation because many of us, if you hang out with me, this is a very, we talk about this a lot, right? That we have control over creating our life. But one of the things that really gets in the way of believing or even thinking that we have the heart to understand that we are in control and we can make choices of how we want our life to go are the people around us and our heart, right? Me as a healer, and I know a lot of you guys are too, we feel called to do this thing. And especially before we do a ton of work, so many people come to me and say, I'm an empath and I feel everybody's stuff and I help everyone and I'm exhausted. And as your like evolution goes and you start to feel better about yourself, you can start to create boundaries, and this having to take care of everyone kind of dissipates and shifts a little bit more to better discernment, better boundaries, and feeling better just in your everyday life, right? So if this is a simulation and we are creating our life, we're creating our circumstances and how our day goes and what we have to, you know, do or not do and all of that. The people around us, and this is what we're going to talk about this week, the people around us are very persistent outside of us and within us to really dictate how we go about our life, right? How we feel about ourselves. From the very beginning of time, we're told different things that we have to do, we have to know, we have to be or not be, right? So if we're considering that we're the main character in the show that we're in, how often, and I'd love to hear you guys, your input, how often do you consider what other people are saying, doing, feeling about you and what you do and how you talk and how you dress and who you spend time with and all of that? We consider all of this, and it's so deeply rooted from birth that it affects how we feel about ourselves. It affects how we put ourselves out into the world, and then it affects what we get back. And that's the important thing, right? You guys that are here, say hello. I love to see what's going on, how you're feeling, and you know, how you're feeling about what I'm saying. If you have questions, all of that. So this week, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the people. If we're the main character in our creation here, the people we have relationships with. I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you have relationships with people who you feel are holding you back? Or do you feel you have people in your life that you would be doing something different if they weren't there? Even people who are no longer alive, right? We have parents who have created situations in our life that even when they're gone, we're still behaving the same way. We're still held back in the same way. We're still like putting ourselves out into the world the same way that we did when they were here. Good morning, Sue. So this is the conversation I want to have. What are you thinking? Does anybody have anything to say about what I'm saying? And what we're going to do this week is entertain, even if this is not your thing to believe or consider that, you know, we're in this basically video game that we're playing, and we are the controller of our energy and how our energy is outputted to get back what we're trying to create. It's a dance, right? Chris, are we the shadows on the walls of Plato's allegory? Yeah, don't you think? I mean, that gave me goosebumps. Absolutely, because we can. That's what I say too. When we're trying to create something, this is a little off topic, but it hits me. When we're trying to create something, and like me, I'm like, I want a big barn with horses in a yoga room, in a room that I can do my big magic carpet rides, but I can include the relationship with horses for people who are interested, right? And when I think of now where I am now and wanting this big, beautiful dream, all I see, if I was like in the cave, right, was all the reasons why that seems kind of crazy, and all the things that I would have to do between now and then. The things that we can't see because of our resistance, because of our programming, because of all the limitations of our belief system, that stops us from seeing like all the possibilities of what we can do here. And I hope that when I'm speaking, you feel my drive and intention around this, because I'm very confident in what I'm talking about, because I literally practice this every day. I practice this to the point where people would tell me I'm crazy because of my trust in what I can't see and what I believe will happen for me. And that's what I want to help you guys to begin to understand. Or if you already understand it, just go further, because there's always more and more, to the point of being able to, like Chris said, turn around and get out of this the little tiny picture that we're seeing and just start to see the whole picture, because nobody can, right? Nobody can really see all the possibilities. We want something and we see 4 possibilities of how to get there, but the universe can like turn around and show us a million, because of the timing of things and the people that are in our experience, the people that come into our experience for that perfect synchronicity to create what we want. So how many people here, when do you have dreams and you think you can't have them? I'd love to hear about that. Do you want to be something, but you think that you can't because of something that you believe? I don't know. It's simple stuff. Even like, do you want more money? Do you want to do your passionate thing that maybe you think people will laugh at? All those things. So this week, what I want to focus on is if we're the main character in this play, I want you to choose someone, and we're going to work on this all week, someone in your life that you think is in the way of where you want to go. Now, some of you maybe have worked on this for a while. So maybe relationships aren't holding you back as much as other people. If it isn't a relationship, is it a belief? So something that's in the way of where you want to go. So for me, because I don't have it yet, the belief of having like $1 million farm for horses and $1 million equestrian center for energy and the magic copper ride on horses, right? I don't have that yet. So what would be in the way for me? Well, I have a lot of things in the way, probably around money than anything else. You know, like even now when I'm like my business is growing and I have more and more clients and more ideas, I can kind of see that this could happen in the next year or so if I stay on track. But that's still a belief that's in my way. That's still a belief that's telling me you have to do these things. It's telling me I have to have this many clients. I have to have this many hours of marketing. I have to have this many, all of this, right? When maybe the universe would just call me up tomorrow, you know, somebody who hears what I do, call me up and say, hey, I have this beautiful place, you want to come and like be here, you know. But my belief, maybe that'll help me just talking to you guys, but my belief right now is like, I try to keep the door open to all the possibilities, but there's a human nature that dictates what we think. So for this week, to begin with, one, if you want to, and I would, if you want to come back and you want to like type your thoughts out in the comments working through this, please do, and I'd be happy to like work back and forth with you. Are we in a simulation? Do we have control over the game? Is there a relationship in your life that the game has created as an obstacle for you to get to where you want to? It's a really, like, there are people, everybody knows people, or it may be you in relationships, literal relationships, marriages or partnerships that we feel we have to stay in, or we need that person for some particular reason. But then we say, well, when I'm not with them anymore, then I can start whatever I want to do. That's you getting in the way of your dream. And what we do is we blame the circumstance, right? We blame the person, we blame the job, we blame where we live, we blame our kids, we blame our lack of education. It's all pretend, you guys. Like, it's all pretend. There's ways to do anything you want to do. And that's what I hope I'm getting, like, my point across. Let's break it down and understand and work with our obstacles to begin to get to where we want to go. How does that sound to you guys? Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Michelle. So for now, for the homework for tomorrow, contemplate what I'm saying. Some of you might be like, she's just freaking crazy, and that's okay. And if this is something that maybe is a new concept to you, share your thoughts. If this is something that you've already considered, then think about, it's a real shift in your mind, right? To think about, if this were true, would I have more control? I'm clear of relationships now. Residual low self-esteem from upbringing, I suppose. Yeah. And so that's such a big, it's a big thing for everyone. You know what I mean? Even those of us, and I'm like more with you, but even the people who were brought up in such a supportive, loving household where there was no shortage of things or abuse or all of that, I think it's very, very rare for any of us to, you know, be introduced to the idea that we create our life from birth, right? So I want to say, because for some of us it's harder than others, right? I want to say, to make sure that, I think it's important that we remember we're all in the same boat, right? We're all in the same boat. And I won't begin to claim I know about past lives, linear lives, timelines, all the other stuff that's going on, right? But I do think that not only our lives now from childhood have created our belief in ourselves, whether, you know, how much we believe in ourselves, but I also think that our other life experiences have created that also, like our ups and downs, our strengths and our weaknesses. So isn't it complicated? You know, it's so this tattoo I have here, I don't know if you can see it, but this is what I saw in my head as far as like all of our lives, all of our life experiences connecting, and to be able to kind of understand that we can move around and figure out the pieces of the puzzle. Yeah. I found a piece of myself this morning that it was a man, and he was it wasn't that he was a light worker, but he was persecuted for being himself, or he was killed for being himself. And it's a piece of me that I've never seen before, but it really kind of helped me this morning. Not because, this is interesting, I want to say this because I think it's important. As I was talking to him, I didn't take away the fact that he was killed for being himself. What I took away from him, and what I'm like spending time with that part of me in his frequency, is that he was himself. So he died, oh well, but he knew how to be himself. And then maybe this life track I'm on now, I'm afraid to completely embrace who I am because of what happened in that particular life track. But I don't want to take that part. What I want to take from him, or what I want to join in that life track, is the fact that he knew what it felt like to be himself. Because that's what I want, right? That's what I want. And that's what we both need to be able to join with that. So isn't it exciting? Like, I don't know. I know I'm a weirdo, but isn't it exciting? Like, for those of us who are so curious about all of this, there's so many pieces to our puzzle. And then on the other hand, it's so simple. If we could just figure out how to put everything down and just like be happy, right? Like just be happy and trust that the universe has our back. Because the more that we trust, the more things just come into your reality. It's all of the garbage that we have that's between us and the frequency of having it all. All right, you guys. Well, like I said at the beginning, if you weren't here, I've set my timer to make sure that I'm sticking to about 15 minutes. Tomorrow we'll be back, and we're going to start to kind of dive into the things that are in the way of us allowing what the universe has to give us into our space. So, talking about the obstacles. That's what I want to talk about. All right. Up in the, hi Stephanie, up in the top of this post, there's a couple of links. One of them is all the links for the lives for the next 6 weeks. I'm doing lives Monday through Friday every other week. And some of them is breath work, some of them are meditation, chakra work. So every single week is different. And we're also having a roundtable this Wednesday at 6 o'clock. That's also in that link, and it's free. It's at 6 o'clock. It's about an hour, and we'll do some conversation and a mind trip. So for those of you who don't know what a mind trip is, it's guided imagery. It's part of the Magic Carpet Ride. And it's basically a little field trip into the non-physical. I can't tell you what we're going to be like going to explore yet because I haven't figured that out. But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of self-discovery and also a lot of really getting time to play in the non-physical and use your gifts that maybe you don't know how to find, or just to hone the ones that you're aware of. All right, you guys. Stephanie, I'll look at the replay. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes now. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day. I'll be back tomorrow morning, same time, 10:30. And feel free to put any comments in. I'll watch for them and reply. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.